Good afternoon, everyone, and a very happy Thursday to you all. And thank you so much for joining us today. For those of you, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Dave Fatizo. I am the membership director here at the LIA. Today, we are very excited to introduce a new partnership with Google that is called Grow with Google. This is a partnership that was put together by our president and CEO, Matt Cohen, as a way to assist the small business community here on Long Island. The topic for today's event is called Create YouTube Videos That Attract New Customers. Video is one of the most powerful tools that small businesses can use to reach more customers and inspire them to purchase. Whether you're thinking about making your first DIY video or cranking out your 20th, there are creative styles, techniques, and best practices that anyone can learn to create compelling content. In this special creative workshop hosted by the LIA, YouTube, and Google, we'll explore different products, styles, and hear from different experts and get you started on the way to producing and engaging, enticing videos. With all that being said, let's get today's program started, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Hello, happy Small Business Week, and welcome to today's Partner Digital Series, where we'll cover how to create YouTube videos that attract new customers. On behalf of YouTube and Grow with Google, I'd like to thank everyone for attending. My name is Maxwell, and as a YouTube product marketing manager, I get to work on many things, including how to get businesses just like yours, building content that tells your story. For those of you tuning in for the first time, Grow with Google helps people grow their skills, their careers, their businesses, and much more by offering free digital trainings and tools. And given the important role of video in all of our lives, they've invited our team here at YouTube to give what we hope you'll find to be an interesting talk. Now, a tad bit of housekeeping before we get started. Number one, questions. We want this to be a helpful session, so if you have questions, post them under the live stream video. We'll answer a select few, so make sure you upvote your favorites. We'll also answer a few additional questions in the Q&A section at the end of today's event, so definitely stick around. Number two, resources. If you'd like more resources, check out the resources section below this player as well. Number three, for closed captions, click the closed caption button within the video player on your screen. Number four, on demand. You can replay this event in the future by clicking on demand on the Grow with Google on-air homepage. Number five, tag us. Don't forget to post and share on social using hashtag Grow with Google. And last, thank you. A big thank you to the creators you'll meet today from Tongle.com, from Shuttle Rock, and from Animoto. And of course, a huge thank you and shout outs to the Lake Havasu Area Chamber of Commerce, the Idaho SBDC, the Basalt Regional Library, and the many other amazing Grow with Google partners who are hosting viewing parties. We truly, truly appreciate your work. We wouldn't be here without you all. So now that we're ready, let's dive in. To understand what you all might be most interested in when we were planning today's session, we partnered with our YouTube Culture and Trends team. See, this team, they study trends of what people are searching for on YouTube. And over the past year, they found something interesting. They found that views of tutorial videos that were related to video editing or how to make a video increased over 100%. And while this could be for a variety of reasons, one pocket that we felt drove this was you all, businesses just like yours who are looking for other areas to anchor your thinking on so that you can start building videos as soon as possible, like I promised. Let's jump into the story types. First story type that we saw in this sample of 10,000 videos was the business story. Some may call this the manifesto ad or the why ad or the mood ad, but whatever you call it, it's the story of you. This is your chance to show your business's personality and to build a connection with potential customers. The business story it's less salesy and it's more about highlighting your values. Who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it as a business? Let's take a look at one.
Admin design began in 2013. We build hardwood furniture from dining tables and benches to coffee tables and bed frames. We build everything by hand and all made to order, which means we can customize any order for free. All of our wood is locally sourced, ecological hardwood.
It's a magical, mystical performance.
As you may have felt, the business story is just as much about the people behind the scenes as it is about the product or service you sell. Now on to our second story type, the product or service story. This is a bread and butter go-to story type to many small businesses. For those of you who were around in the 90s, you might remember the Billy Mays 1-800-1999 buy now OxyClean commercials. Yeah, that's a product story. A product or service story is your chance to explain the benefits of your product or service and to get into the details of how it works. You can then cover off on the problem it solves, and most of all, direct your audience to taking some sort of action. Let's watch a quick example from a YouTube small business.
What's the door? Twist around and rest over here. Yeah, I've done it. Dad, my computer's broke. What's the... This way. Lower. Perfect.
Amazing.
Blue hacks from Blue Tack. What do you do with yours?
Unlike the business story we saw before, where you focus on the business and why it exists, the product or service story focuses on, well, the product or service. And it's a great way to move potential customers from being aware of your product to being interested in making an actual purchase. And the last of the three story types to anchor our thinking on before we bring out our guest creators is the promotional story. This story type is great for announcing special deals or timely offers. For example, keep in mind that a promotional story, in my opinion, lands best if customers have already seen your brand story so that they understand who you are, and also seen your product story to understand how your product works. So think of these three as coexisting, not being one or the other. And also keep these in mind as you plan your next story. Now, I know what you're thinking. Max, how are we going to make these videos? I'll tell you how we're going to make these videos. For this next segment, we've invited in our creative pals from Tongo.com, from Animoto, and from Shuttle Rock, who are going to help us break down 9 common production techniques. Don't blink. This is supposed to be fast. Our goal is to get you exposed to a wide range of creative tools, creative approaches, and a new creative vocabulary so that you can continue your creative journey on YouTube after today. Diving in, first up on the list of common techniques should be no surprise to you, selfie style. This is bread and butter, and it's what brings YouTube to life every day. It has for years. It's just simply when someone representing your brand is in the middle of your story, telling the story of what you do. Let's watch a few seconds to level set.
Hey, listen to me for free. I know you and I both love free stuff. This is what you get with the free month trial. Listen.
3-month trial.
I started using Curology a little over 2 months ago. They make a custom prescribed formula. I know when I heard that, I was like, what? But it's this. This is called the super bottle. That's what they call it. And I'm pretty sure they call it that for a reason. Honestly, for me, I think I started seeing results after 2 weeks. That's when I started noticing that my skin wasn't as dry. Oh, did I even mention I don't have foundation on right now? That's not a shock to you, but it's a shock to me.
We see a ton of great small business videos where you just film yourself talking authentically and honestly about your product or giving a demo. And what I love most is that it's simple. And it's an authentic and quick way to put your message out there or build a connection with viewers. So how do we do this? Please join me in welcoming our first creator, YouTube creator, business coach, and our good friend out of LA, Adrian Finch.
Thanks, Max. And hello, small businesses and Grow with Google partners. I'm YouTube creator and business coach Adrienne Finch, and today I'm going to teach you how to make amazing videos that feature one person speaking directly to camera. I film videos like this all the time on my YouTube channel, and here are 6 key things I keep in mind while doing so. First, you'll want to choose a quiet location where you won't be interrupted while filming. Next, make sure there's a good amount of space behind you so that the camera focuses on you more than the background. Check that the room is free of clutter and that you have permission to use any of the art or logos that are visible in the frame. And feel free to liven up the background with some more props, but make sure they don't distract from you, the presenter. Next, we have lighting. It's important to make sure you're appropriately lit, either using equipment like this ring light or natural light from a window. At the same time, there shouldn't be bright light coming from behind you. A good rule of thumb, make sure the camera is always positioned between you and the light source. If your light source is too close or too intense, try filtering it with something like a sheer curtain or moving further away from the light. For great sounding audio, your best bet is to use a lavalier or a shotgun microphone that plugs directly into your camera. To avoid echo, make sure you're recording in a mid-sized carpeted room with a low ceiling. And don't forget to turn off things like phones, music, and air conditioning to reduce background noise. If you can hear it, your microphone can too. With wardrobe, it's important to be yourself. Dress the way you typically would for a day at work. In general, solid colors work best. Avoid small repeating patterns, prints, logos, or anything that's the same color as your background. Also, avoid accessories that can distract or jingle. And if you wear glasses, make sure to check the lenses for reflections. When it comes to where you should position yourself in the frame, center generally looks best. Don't leave too much space between your head and the top of the frame, but don't cut yourself off either. You'll want to keep your camera around eye level, and you should be at least an arm's length away from the lens. And remember, look directly into the camera as if you're looking directly at your audience. It's engaging and creates a sense of connection, which brings us to tone. Now, this one takes practice. You want the viewers to feel like they know you, and the best way to do that is to speak as if you're at lunch with a close friend, but with a little more energy. Speak clearly, be as concise as possible, and don't forget to relax. If you're having fun, your viewers will too. All right, everyone, those are my 6 best practices for creating amazing selfie-style videos on YouTube. I now challenge you guys to take what you've learned and create a video, even if it's just for practice. But if you do end up posting it, tag me on social media at Adrienne Finch. I'd love to see. Best of luck, and happy Small Business Week.
That was awesome. Thank you, Adrienne. It's all about putting a real person in the center of your story. And I love the way she broke it down into its core parts to think through when you do. Now that Adrienne has walked us through how to get started with that bread and butter selfie style, we're going to turn our attention to another important aspect of bringing your video to life. The background. What's behind you when you're talking and what's not behind you? And looking at these thousands of small business videos, the use of a simple backdrop really stood out. Let's watch a few seconds of this example, just to show how far a simple backdrop can take your video.
Dull, tired, and puffy skin. Ugh, it's the worst, and everyone notices. I tried every caffeine skincare product out there, and nothing I used did the trick. So I created my own ingenious solution with Volition Beauty. New Yupon Tea Glow Awakening Moisturizer. Formulated to depuff, blur imperfection, and smooth the appearance of fine lines. With Volition, beauty is what you make of it.
Available exclusively at volitionbeauty.com.
In my free time, I love portrait photography. And fun fact, I used to run a small apparel business with a friend. And understanding how to set up a backdrop was one of the first techniques we invested in learning. To break it down, I am excited to introduce you all to our next guest, who is tuning in from Hawaii. Please join me in welcoming Creative Director Princess and her team at Sunset Culture Marketing.
Thanks, Max. Aloha, small businesses and Grow with Google partner. My name is Princess and I'm a content creator based here in Hawaii. Today, I'm going to show you how to find the perfect backdrop that you can use for your videos, you can upload on your socials, YouTube page, website, or anything for your business. Before we tackle the different tips, let me tell you why it's important. A good backdrop allows your viewers to focus on you, your message, and your product. It sets the overall mood and the overall brand of your video. Third, it allows a good impression for your viewers. Today, I will show you that finding the right backdrop can be super easy with quick setup and can be within your budget. It's gonna be fun, so let's get started. There are many types of backdrops you can use. The most basic ones are paper, fabric, or just walls. You can find the paper and fabric online or craft stores close by. The ones I have right now, I got it from a craft store close by, and it only cost me for just about $4. This paper and fabric is 5x3 and is meant for shooting just from your waist and up. But if you're planning to shoot your whole body or you want more space in the frame, you can always find bigger ones online. Just type photography backdrop and you'll find a lot of good options that are under $50. In terms of color or shade, it honestly depends on you, but solid and neutral colors like blue, white, or black are always good to go to. If you're looking for more dramatic colors or patterns, make sure it's not too distracting. Wear clothes that are not the same color as your background, but colors that would complement it. When setting up your backdrop, make sure that it's flat and clean. Notice any stains and wrinkles because as small as it is, it can be distracting. Wrinkles can cause shadows that can be magnified by the light. You can use double adhesive tape and push pins on all four corners. And for me, I like using both just to make sure it stays up and flat the whole time. Lighting is so important in video production. I use this ring light I purchased online for just around $25. I position it in front of me or right behind the camera. Make sure to adjust the lighting setting if it's available so it's not too bright. Another option is you can always use natural lighting. Just make sure you do it before it gets dark. You can also use the lights from your home. Just make sure that your position doesn't cause any shadows, especially around your face. As for positioning, don't stay too close to your backdrop. Stand about 2 to 3 feet from your backdrop. This allows more focus and depth on you as the speaker. I hope you enjoyed this video and realize how simple yet important it is to find good backdrops when creating content for your business. Happy Small Business Week.
Thank you, Princess. It's amazing to see how much you can do with just a little bit of paper. We'll hear more from Princess later, so be sure to stick around. Okay, so we've covered selfie style. Then we took a step deeper into thinking about how the backdrop works thanks to Princess. And in each scenario, we focused on the person who was on screen, but what if there isn't a person on screen talking to the camera? See, this is where voiceover really matters, and this is where it comes in handy. Voiceover is a technique we see often in small business videos, and it's a helpful way to bring your story to life when what you show on screen isn't a person talking. Quick example to get us on the same page.
Who's a good food? Who's made with premium ingredients from farms we know and trust? Who's a very, very good food? See what good nutrition is made of.
And as a side note, it does not hurt to have a cute puppy in your video. So what do we need to keep in mind when doing a voiceover? Is it as simple as just talking into a recorder, or is there more to it? To help us break it down, I am so excited to pass the mic to our next guest. Tuning in from the Netherlands, Alex and the team at Drop of Lemon Studio.
This is Alex, and what he doesn't know yet is that he is going to explain you how to make the perfect voiceover. What's the matter, Alex? Sorry, I can't understand. What do you say? Maybe it's your accent or something, but I just can't.
Hi Max, and hello to all small businesses and Grow with Google partners. I'm Alex, I'm from Drop of Lemon Studio, and I'm going to talk to you about making voiceovers. Voiceover is a monologue from an off-camera presence. So what I'm doing right now is talking directly into the camera. This is not a voiceover.
But I am a voiceover.
A voiceover is literally a voice over your images. It can be used to promote your business, to inform your customers, basically anything where an extra voice is needed. So it's a no-brainer that voiceovers are pretty important for selling your product or service. But still, the quality of some voiceovers is pretty bad. I've seen a lot of videos where the audio was recorded from a camera far away or a phone far away. But with a few simple tricks, we can make your voiceover sound amazing. Plus, most of the things you already have at home, and it's for free. If you really want to get serious about audio production, then you need to invest in a microphone, audio recorder, microphone filters, pop filters, cables, and there's so many variations and possibilities, like Rode and Sennheiser. Sennheiser is known for versatility. So, should you invest in audio? You definitely should, but only if you want to. Yeah. But because you invested all the money in your business, we'll show you the no budget version. And the bare minimum audio recorder you need is this one. These microphones on some of these smartphones are really good. And there are a lot of different applications you can use to record audio, but I'll suggest just to use the standard recording app on the phone. First step, create a quiet place. I guess you don't have a recording studio, so important is to find a nice quiet place somewhere in your home, somewhere in your surroundings, or create it by using pillow, blankets, anything that absorbs sound. And also make sure to avoid any kinds of noises around you, air condition, traffic, your neighbor's dog barking. Be aware of them and try to reduce it as much as possible. Step 2, stay close to the source, meaning that your microphone should be close to your mouth, but not too close or it's gonna sound all fuzzy and poppy, but also not too far away because then it's all echoey. And the best possible way to record the audio of your smartphone is at a 45-degree angle. And ideally, you put a pillow behind it to reduce any echo. Hello, yes, I'm Alex. I make voiceover videos. Step 3, doing the voiceover. You don't have to be the next Morgan Freeman. Your voice is just fine. You can hear my German little accent, but that shouldn't matter. It's your voice, it's your company, it's charming. It's how you talk about it with the enthusiasm, the right pronunciation, and the right volume and pacing. And what would definitely help is writing a voiceover script. Step 4, always record multiple takes. Always record multiple takes. In post-production, you can pick and choose which takes worked out the best depending on the video content you have, but also you can forge it all into one cohesive story. Speaking about post-production, there are different softwares you can use to clean up your audio. I would recommend Audacity. It's a free available program and it allows you to really fine-tune and enhance and make your voice as crispy as possible. After cleaning up the audio, you can start editing your video. I would start laying out the voiceover and make a cohesive story, because this will be the pacing and the rhythm of your video. After you pick and choose the best quotes, make sure that the audio doesn't just cut off. Add little fades, little volume changes to make it as smooth as possible. Add some music to see how it works with the voiceover, and then start adding your footage. After you edited your video, got your voiceover, your music, share it with your friends and family, get some feedback, hear what they have to say about it. Does it work? In conclusion, it can be pretty hard to record good audio, but with a couple of simple tools and tips, it really, really works. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Happy Small Business Week, everyone. Back to you, Maxwell.
Thank you, Alex. That was awesome. And one thing I especially appreciate is that voiceover isn't about having an extensive knowledge of videography or a perfect voice, like Alex already said. It's about just having a well thought out message. We'll hear more from Alex later, so let's keep the train running. Okay, now so far we've run through a series of techniques that haven't really been about your camera. We talked about selfie style, which is how you bring a person into the story. We've talked about the backdrop, which is about what's behind you. And then we talked about voiceover, which is around how to use audio. But what if your video needs to do more than face a person? This is where point and shoot comes in handy. Let's watch a quick example. As you may have noticed, this video, it incorporates more motion and more panning and zooming to make the video feel action-oriented, energetic, and exciting. Speaking of energetic and exciting, I cannot think of a more energetic and exciting guest to bring on this next segment. Please join me in welcoming our next guest, tuning in from Miami, Manny of the Me Media Productions team.
Hi, small businesses, and grow with Google Partners. I'm Manny from Miami, and I'm the owner and operator of Me Media Productions. As a small business myself, I understand that content is king in the digital space. I heard that you want to learn how to do point and shoot video so you can promote your business on YouTube. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how. If only we can just go around capturing what our eyes see, but unfortunately, that's not the case. The basic equipment you need, no matter the size, is going to be a camera, a lens, and some method of recording audio. The beautiful thing is that you have everything you need right there on your smartphone. Even if you don't have a microphone, you can get away with finding royalty-free music and some sound effects that matches the tone of your video. And in matter of fact, YouTube has an amazing free library of audio that you can use, so it relieves any stress. It's very important to know, especially if you're just starting out, to get smooth handheld shots. All you need to do is figure out how to get 3 points of stabilization while you're holding your camera, which means you have to find a way of getting 3 points of contact with your camera, whether that's with the ground, your hands, or your camera strap. If you're using a tripod, each leg is a point of contact with the ground. If you're using a monopod, you have 1 point of contact with the ground and 2 with your hands. Actually, a monopod is a great tool that's very affordable that you can buy on Amazon for $20 to $50. Or if you're using a camera strap, wrap it around your body and it helps give you maximum tension. If you're just using your phone, make sure you turn on image stabilization. Some phones may not have it. And if not, don't worry. All you have to do is make sure you get no to very slow movements. And if you're using your phone, this would be a great time to use your monopod. Now let's talk about what you need to be looking for when you're shooting. The 3 basic components you need to worry about are your foreground, your midground, and your background. So in order for you to build beautiful works of art, you need to be consistently thinking about these 3 elements and how they play off one another. This is how you're going to build a visual story. Don't forget, you have a subject, a product that's going to be living in between these 3 elements, while also determining how they're going to be interacting with one another. You know what? Let's go to the backyard and kind of play around with some different subject matters. Let's do this. This is going to be our visual example for today, a bouquet of flowers. We have all 3 elements right here. A foreground, which is something right in front of the lens, our midground, which is where our subject is going to be living, and our background, which is everything behind our main subject that usually is blurred out. It won't be your main attention grabber, but it helps elevate your image. No, it's your choice where you want the subject or product to live. Let's first focus on our midground, where our subject is going to be living. Right now, our background is just a boring, ugly fence. Though, if we make some small tweaks in the camera, we now make our background more aesthetically pleasing. Just by changing where the lens is facing, we have now a more visually pleasing background. Just by adding some hedges. It really helps complement the colors of the flowers. Now, let's add some elements in the foreground, like this fake houseplant. You can see the before and after, and how it adds more of a visual interest to our main subject, while filling in some of the dead space. Now we can add some movement to help give it that feeling of being alive, and notice how the foreground elements help sell that movement. You'll be surprised how everyday objects can really elevate your story. Now that you've figured out your composition, let's make sure you get the 3 basic forms of coverage: your wide, your medium, and your close-up. Make sure you give yourself at least 10 seconds worth of stable shots to give yourself enough time to cut in the editing room. Then all you have to do is continuously repeat these steps for any subject you're shooting. I really want you to focus on getting a lot of practice with building your frames, so that way you can figure out what works best for you. Continuously practicing and thinking about how to shoot beautiful images just builds your confidence in your filmmaking abilities. Thank you so much for watching, and happy Small Business Week. Can't wait to see what you produce.
Thank you, Manny. That was an incredibly thorough and helpful overview. For those of you looking to gain more of Manny's wisdom, please reach out to him and his team directly. Now that we're on the topic of the camera basics, I'm excited to bring another style into the mix, and a personal favorite of mine, top-down shots. I think you get the idea, but let's watch a quick example.
Let's skip resolutions this year, because what makes the biggest impact are the little things, like taking vitamins made just for you from Care Up. Just take the quiz to find out what supplements your body actually needs.
The top-down shot came up a lot in our research, and I'll tell you why I think that is. Throughout this past year, as we saw businesses close up in-person shopping left and right, the use of top-down became more than just a production technique. Top-down shots offer a way to bring sort of a tactile sensation into a contactless world. And to show you a few crafty ways of nailing the top-down shot, let's jump back over to the Netherlands with our pal Alex in the studio.
Thanks, Max. Hello, small businesses and Grow with Google partners. I'm Alex from Draw of Lemon Studio, here to talk to you about the top-down shots. A top-down shot is used for showing off and interacting with your product or service. It gives the video a feeling that the customers have your product in their hand. So how do you achieve your own top-down shot? Oh, well, that's super easy. If you have all of this, well, it's nice to have, but definitely not necessary. We'll show an easier way how to reproduce the same shot. Let's get started. Step 1, get the right setup. Let's begin by finding a large, non-wobbly table that's cleaned up and ready to go. Find the right scene that really stands out. Look around, try different colors, textures, and objects. You can make it into a white, clean top-down shot, like this one, or you can create a setup that feels more alive. Add some pencils, a plant, a cup of coffee. Make it personal. Important is that no matter what the setup is, the focus remains in the middle, where your product is being showcased. The best light source is the sun, especially on a cloudy day. It creates a very consistent and soft light. So on a cloudy day, put your table next to a window. But beware, the weather changes and can be very inconsistent. With extra lamps, you can create your own lighting environment. So you might consider buying some cheap, affordable LED lights. But if it doesn't work for you, you can also consider just using a desk light. Step 3, putting the camera in the right position. Make sure to go for something sturdy. You can rent or invest in tripods that can be pulled out and used over your table. You can also set up a regular tripod on top of a table and bend it slightly forward. Make sure you don't see the tripod's legs, and be careful because this makes the camera very unstable and can easily fall over. If you're working with a smartphone, you can use a gooseneck stand or a clamp with a phone mount attached to it. These things are great, cheap, and you can basically clamp it anywhere. Or just be creative. Like here, I made a quick setup with some boxes and a plank on top, put the smartphone just over the edge, and voila. But be careful. Make sure it's bump-proof and doesn't fall over. Try adding some corner brackets, weights, or just even duct tape. Step 4, workflow. After setting up the shot, you can begin your video. Make sure to show all sides of your products while you're shooting, and use a voiceover for explaining your product. Hey guys, have you ever faced the same problem as me? Don't know how to open this banana? Well, with my new Banana 2.0, it's easier than ever to open a banana. Yeah. And don't forget to do multiple takes and zoom in or even move your camera closer so you can choose the best shots during editing and make it more dynamic. And that's it. Make sure to have fun. That's what it's all about. Thank you for watching and good luck with your upcoming video productions. Now, back to you, Max.
The banana really helped to drive the point home. And thank you, Alex, for both of your incredibly awesome talks. For those of you still laughing, don't forget to please reach out to Alex and his team for more information if the top-down shot or the voiceover appeals to what you're trying to build. All right, so cranking up the notch a bit. What if your product or service isn't something that can be set down and recorded on camera? What if your product or service is best shown when it's being used? This next segment is just about that. In action. The in-action technique is one we see a lot, and it's a great way to get viewers better understanding how your product looks, how it works, and how it operates. Let's watch an example. You see what I mean? Glow offers online yoga, meditation, Pilates, and fitness classes, and I guess they decided that their story was better told in action, and I see why. It's not to say that the backdrop isn't the right style for them, or that voiceover isn't the right style. Neither is right or wrong. It's just about what works for you. And to point us in the right direction when setting up the in-action shot, I'm excited to jump back over to Princess in Hawaii. If you're just now logging in, definitely check out some of her earlier presentation and some of the great work that her team does. They have a real knack for bringing mobility and movement into videos in a way that makes you feel as though you're right there, using it and testing it. Over to you, Princess.
Thanks, Max. Hello again to our small businesses and Grow with Google partners. My name is Princess, and I'm also a small business owner and content creator located here in Hawaii. Today, I'm going to show you how to shoot your products in action. In addition to the normal static tabletop or simple backdrop shoot, it's very important that you show your product how it's used in the wild and by real customers. You can shoot these videos using a camera or your phone, and other equipment that I use in addition to this is a monopod, which is very affordable and can be easily found online. Now that you know the importance of this and the basic equipment needed, let's get started on some tips that will help you in shooting your products in action. Tip number 1 is to create a story around it. Think about all the elements that can complement your product, like what problem does it solve, where is it usually used, and how do I want my customers to feel when they are holding it. Consider adding the answer to questions like this to your video. For example, if my product is a ukulele, I would consider using a musician or my target audience, and I would make sure to shoot it at a quiet place. Also, the emotions of the models or actors send the message to viewers and are very important. Tip number 2 is use different kinds of angles and shots when shooting. Different kinds of angles can take your video to the next level. So for example, if your product is a skincare cream, consider alternating close-up shots and wide-angle shots. Another favorite shot of mine is texture shots. Texture shots are all about patterns, colors, and depth, and every single detail of a texture plays a significant role in the overall perception of the video. This allows your viewers to be mesmerized and take a closer look at your product. Tip number 3, lighting is so important just like with any other videos. It's a little trickier when you shoot outside, so here are a few tips. Timing is key. For example, if you're a skateboarding company and you're looking to show your skateboards in action outside, timing is key. Avoid shooting when the sun is at its brightest, like early afternoon. This is a time when lighting from the sun can make your videos too bright. Golden hour is the most ideal time for me. Generally, golden hour looks good because it gives people in landscapes a flattering, natural look. Tip 4 is to hunt for a location that will make the composition of your video look nice. This can be a balanced background like this natural scenery. Don't have too many background elements, which can be distracting. As you think about finding a good outdoor location, here are some tips. Number 1, walk or drive around and see what looks good for your product based on different factors. The color, lighting during the time that you're planning to shoot, the other elements you want to include in your video, etc. Number 2, look for inspiration online. You can always Google or search on YouTube what local spots are around that are eye-catchy and can give more value to your video. Shooting your product in action can be really fun. This can help your viewers turn into customers. Good luck and happy Small Business Week!
Thank you again, Princess, for another thoughtful overview. Also, those locations were amazing. We're going to have to come visit you in Hawaii soon for research purposes, we'll call it. Okay, so we've walked through a few ways to bring your video to life, but one of the best things about video is that you can play around with more than just the footage your viewer sees on screen. You can also play around with the text they read. We've seen some fun and versatile uses of text, from text being used to highlight what the narrator is saying, to some videos that have no narration at all, just visuals and text. Let's take a look at a fun example. I like that a lot. And to help us gain a starting point of how to approach text, I'm very excited to introduce our next guest out of Colombia, David.
Thanks, Max, and hey to you, small businesses and grow with Google partners. My name is David, and I'm an editor and filmmaker from Colombia. I'd like to welcome you to this quick tutorial on how to add text to your YouTube videos and why that matters. So let's jump right in with an example and figure out how to do it. Of course, what your text says, it's very important because your message must be clear and understandable. But how you design the text is also very important. The font, the size, the color, the duration on screen, all have an impact on how your audiences perceive the video. Imagine we sell equipment to work from home, and we just made a video showing how the product is used. As you can see, this video has no voiceover, so it's really important to rely on visible text to explain what's happening. On-screen text serves our main goal, to invite people to try our product, and it's also a great way to make your product really stick in people's minds. Now I'm going to show you how to add basic text to your video to make your message more clear using DaVinci Resolve. This is a great free software, but the principles of adding text to videos are roughly the same in any editing software, even in smartphone apps. the first thing we're going to do is to create a new project. The name doesn't matter. And we're going to import our video, the video that we already have. So import media, open, and change. And we're going to go to the edit tab and drag the video to the editing timeline. So let's go to the effects library and titles and just drag a text and put it on top. Because our video here doesn't have any text, we have to make it speak. We have to let the viewers know what we want them to know. When thinking about font, you want to choose something that is bold enough to be visible on mobile screens and something you can reuse across all your brand content. For color, we're gonna go with yellow so it stands out and just a little bit bigger. And down here, a little bit of shadow, drop shadow. Let's offset it a little bit so it's visible, less blurry. Here we can fade the text so it enters more smoothly. And also, because our video does this, we also want to fade it out. And let's add a second text. Or we can copy it using Alt and dragging. Now, it is important to start strong, to immediately catch their eye, to get their attention. And we have to intrigue them, talk about a problem they might be having. In YouTube videos, there is no time to waste. We have to get their attention and immediately offer a solution. Alt and drag, and that will copy our text. And here we can maybe give some information about where to find us, how to purchase our product. So let's not cover the product, just cover the screen. Now that our video is done, we can export it going to the Deliver tab and then choose a name for the file. So add to render queue, the location is going to be on the desktop, and now render all. That's it for today. I hope this video was interesting and helpful to you. If you want to keep learning about how to edit your videos, check out my channel. For now, happy Small Business Week to you, and back to you, Max.
Thank you, David, so much. Not only do I appreciate your helpful take, but it's also nice to kind of get a sneak peek into some of the free software tools that exist out there when it comes to text editing. All right, so if you're still with us, thank you. We have covered a lot today. And while I hope you all start playing around with some of these techniques, the reality is that some of you just may not do this. Maybe shooting videos on your own isn't your cup of tea right now. And that's okay. Our final segments are just for you. In looking through this sample of ads that I keep referencing, we see videos that come together in a lot of non-traditional ways that don't necessarily include a camera. One specifically is through the use of simple still images. And you may already have some lying around. So, for example, let's take a look at how this business has used still images as well as just a little bit of voiceover and text to bring their story to life.
In-store and online, StruckTube is your destination to discover a full range of modern furniture at exceptionally low prices. Take advantage now of our free delivery with any purchase over $200.
Thanks, Max, and hello, small businesses. My name is Sally Sargood, and I'm the Chief Video Officer at Animoto. We've been partnering with YouTube since 2017, enabling small businesses to create videos themselves to promote their products and services. We're an online DIY platform that makes video creation so easy that anyone can do it. We've seen small businesses embrace Animoto with over 1 million of them using it for their marketing and advertising videos. Today, in less than 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how to turn your images into a YouTube-ready video, even if you have no experience in video editing. We have YouTube-specific templates with a bunch of best practices built in, including the ones that I'm going to talk about today. So, are we ready? Let's go. When creating videos using stills, there are a number of best practices to keep in mind. For the next few minutes, I'm going to talk you through my top 5 best practices for creating great videos using just still images. So the first one is to make sure you're using images that are bright and attention-grabbing. Darker images won't stand out as much, whereas brighter images will not only catch their eye, but also keep the viewer's attention. Number 2, is to zoom in. So when adding your images to the video, make sure you zoom in and crop it in nice and tight to the image. Studies actually show that using tight shots of people or animals retains the viewer's attention more than a wide focus shot. So try to fill the frame with the subject more than the background. Next up, use negative space for your text. So even though we love those tight shots, keep in mind that text helps drive home the point and deliver your message. So when using text, we also need to make sure that it's legible and doesn't compete with the imagery you're using. So you can do this by either creating some negative space on the screen, by moving your subject either to the left or right, or even on the top or bottom, so you can create some space to place the text clearly. Number 4 is using effects like a photo burst. So one great way to introduce motion into your video is to use something like a photo burst. So this is a series of images that appear in rapid succession. The photo burst transitions will captivate your viewer and allow you also to show more images in less time. And finally, once you have your imagery and copy finalized, incorporate your personality and colors into it and create a look that's consistent with your brand. So this will help your videos stand out and be consistent with what you represent as a business, but also increase the professional look of your videos. So by including these best practices, we know that your videos will be fantastic. So let's have a look at a finished product now. Super fun and super easy. So the great part is that this isn't hard to do. Tools like Animoto can turn you into a video producer within minutes. So everything that I've talked about today is possible to do with Animoto's drag and drop interface. Everything from the zoom, the text, the colors, even stock. So if you don't have your own images, we have over 1 million Getty Images photos and video clips too, as well as the licensed music library for you to access, or you can also upload your own. So many people are never able to launch an ad because they feel like it needs to be perfect, but our suggestion is not to let perfection stand in your way. Start small, finish one video, test it, then iterate, and you're off and running. So thank you so much. Happy Small Business Week and happy video making.
Thank you, Sally. As always, that was fun and energizing. And for those of you who resonate with this style, definitely check out some of the things Animoto has to offer. Now, for our final, and one of my personal favorite techniques seen in our research, animation and motion graphics. Let's get on the same page about what this means with a quick example. Our final guest is a close partner of the YouTube team, and this company has really made animation and motion graphics more accessible and affordable than ever. Please join me in welcoming our friend and director of content at Shuttle Rock, Danny.
Hello, my name is Danny, Director of Content and Strategy at Shuttle Rock, coming to you from New York. We are thrilled to be joining you at International Small Business Week thanks to YouTube. Today, we're going to be taking you through how to elevate your video creative through animation, and better yet, using things you already have. So let's get to it. Animating your key message beyond generic subtitles can help your message be easily understood. Here's a fun fact. The human eye can read 300 words a minute as a sentence, but by removing the need to move your eyes, you can read up to 500 words a minute. However, not every word needs to be animated. Let's take a look at how we brought Factor's key message to life using their existing assets.
Wish healthy eating was easier? Factor is on a mission to make healthy eating easy and delicious. Like, really delicious. Our food is designed by world-class chefs, delivered fresh, never frozen, and is ready in minutes. Get $60 off your first 2 weeks using code GETFACTOR60 today.
Transitions leveraging graphic elements help take your audience on a journey. Linking your frames in a creative way helps retain your audience's attention. Inspiration could be right in front of you. Think of your logo or brand guidelines as inspiration for these transitions. Even your website or social media posts can have shapes and elements that could be brought to life with animation. Good news is you don't need a lot to get started. Let's take a look at how we took Event Stable's key brand colors, website, and guidelines to inspire the transitions in this video.
Event season is coming. Take it outside with Event Stable. Event Stable has the folding chairs and tables you need to take it outside. Contact us for wholesale discounts and free shipping deals. Visit eventstable.com today and get a quote.
Your logos and icons can lead a whole new life with a little animation magic. Animating your logo can capture attention, and how you animate it can show off your brand's personality. Let's take a look at some examples. First up, Babbel, who keeps it simple with their logo animation, but still garners great impact.
Learn a new language with Babbel. The more you learn, the more you understand. Because understanding changes everything. Babbel, download the app now.
Gardening Express have 4 key icons: a plant, box, truck, and a door. By animating these, we simplify their offering so it's easy to understand.
Plants delivered to your door. 5-year guarantee. Planted, grown, and delivered to you. Order today.
Lastly, Scythe animates their icons to show the audience the benefits of investing with them in a short amount of time. Those were a few examples of how you can incorporate motion into your video creative. Hopefully you're inspired to try a few of them out. If you need a helping hand, Shutterrock works with small businesses just like you saw today. We take existing assets to create bespoke video in less than 72 hours. So feel free to get in touch. Otherwise, have a great small business week and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you, Danny, and thank you to all the small businesses who have tuned in today. We're wrapping up and transitioning to the Q&A section. But first, I want to share a few additional resources with you. At this point, hopefully, you are more comfortable creating easy, impactful YouTube videos for your business. And as a next step, we recommend visiting youtube.com/ads to learn more about how to get started and how to begin your YouTube advertising journey. Also, we've made it easier than ever to start advertising on the platform with a new flow that only takes a few minutes to set up. Also, on youtube.com/ads, you can discover more creative partners to meet up with, a free YouTube small business playbook, and a very exciting tool called Find My Audience, where you can learn who your most valuable customers are on YouTube and how to reach them. Lastly, for additional free virtual workshops to help grow your business and sharpen your digital skills, do not forget to browse Grow with Google On Air, where you'll find a wide variety of topics. This wraps up the presentation portion of today's workshop. Now give us just a few minutes to pass it off to Anna, who will answer some of the questions you submitted earlier.
Thanks, Max. I'm going to cover some Q&A from the workshop today. First question, this was a helpful DIY overview, but how do we follow up if we want to partner with a video producer? In addition to following up directly with the wonderful creative makers we heard from today, we also have a great directory of 20 plus creative partners on youtube.com/ads. And in fact, you heard from 3 of them today: Shutterrock and Emoto, and the creators who we met through the Tongle platform. Like them, there are many creative partners who are ready to work with small businesses like yours. Next question, what do I do after I have my video? There are a lot of great free YouTube solutions for small businesses. Check out the YouTube Small Biz Playbook, a downloadable step-by-step guide to help you establish an online presence for your business, launch and optimize a YouTube channel, and reach new customers. You can find this resource within the resources section of this Grow on Air segment. In addition, we recommend tuning into YouTube Small Biz Day today to watch inspiring panels and get helpful tips and resources on how to get started on YouTube. All right, next question. We have lots of videos already on our YouTube channel. How do I learn more about advertising on YouTube? YouTube ads will help you to connect to more of the people who matter most to your business and see the results that matter to you, whether you want more views, subscribers, website visits, and more. Learn how to grow your business with YouTube ads on youtube.com/ads. It's actually now easier than ever to see how your YouTube ads are performing with helpful insights into things like impressions, views, and more. You can learn more by going to youtube.com/ads. Okay, my next question. Today was mainly about video production, but can you share a bit more about what type of audiences we can reach on YouTube? Will my video actually be seen by my customers and future customers? This is a great question. We didn't have enough time to get into the audiences that you can reach on YouTube, but we recommend checking out the Find My Audience tool that lives on Think with Google, the tool that helps you find the people who matter most to your business. You'll learn who your most valuable customers are on YouTube, and you'll better understand how to reach them. My last question is, after I get started with my first campaign, when and how often should I create new video ads? Creative is one of the most critical parts of a campaign's success, with Nielsen attributing it to almost 50% of advertising effectiveness. For this reason, it's important to refresh creative to ensure it's timely and relevant. For example, you may want to create new ads when you launch a new product or service, or you may want to create a new ad when you have a special offer or during holidays and special events. All right, that wraps up today's Q&A. Thank you all for joining us for Create YouTube Videos that Attract New Customers. We hope you enjoyed your experience and learned how YouTube can help your small business. You can find all of our follow-up resources on the same page you're watching in the Resources tab below the video player, including more resources to learn from the creators today. You can also access a recording of today's session by clicking On Demand at g.co/growonair. We'll also be sending a follow-up email with a survey for you to fill out regarding your experience in the virtual event today. It's really important to get feedback so we can quickly improve sessions and offer content that is most helpful to all of our learners. Thanks again for joining us here at Grow with Google, and we'll see you soon.
Wow, that was some great information, and I hope that if you were viewing it, you were able to understand and use some of this information moving forward. So once again, just like when I opened up, this is a new partnership that we have created with the Grow with Google partnership program. And it was really put together through our president and CEO, Matt Cohen, as his vision is to continue and provide the small businesses who we feel are the heart and soul of the Long Island area with information like this that can help them expand their business and continue to grow. So we will continue to broadcast information like this from the Grow with Google partnership program. Stay tuned. Check our calendar of events on our website, which is longislandassociation.org. Also, if you are existing members, you will get these notifications accordingly. And the funny thing is right now, as I am speaking in, one of the key aspects that they had mentioned is glare. I can actually see the glare on my glasses from my screen, which I guess is a big no-no. I'll have to make adjustments to that moving forward. But I just really wanted to thank you all for attending. Our president and CEO, Matt Cohen, he appreciates and wants to thank you as well. And we look forward to having you attend future events with our new partnership with Grow with Google. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope you all have a fantastic weekend moving forward. Thank you again for attending.